Welcome back, everybody. How's it going? Another video going down to Penrose. Yeah. I figured I'd just do these videos as I'm driving in the vehicle anyways. Figured just talk about whatever fancies my pants. Is that a word? Is that a saying? I don't know. Man, 115 nowadays is nuts. There's just so much traffic. Just like a couple years ago, there was like no traffic. It seems like so much truck traffic on this. It's like they cut off the interstate now or something. I don't know what the deal is. Cop going the other way, I thought he would have pulled this guy in front of me over. Must be on a mission for something. So if you're new to Colorado or thinking about moving here, Penrose Commons is one of the places we ride in the winter. It typically doesn't get snow or much snow, or it melts pretty quickly. It's too warm in the summer, so as soon as we get our mountain riding in, or at least can get part of it in, we switch over to the mountains versus Penrose. I'm sure the Jeep guys hit Penrose all year and stuff, but it can get pretty hot down in Penrose, and it's sunny, so it can be like 90, 100 degrees or more, and that's just brutal for the hard riding it is. So yeah, I don't know people that actually come here in the summer. I'm sure there are. I personally don't. People I ride with don't. Another local riding area for Colorado Springs would be Captain Jack's. Captain Jack's, though, the problem is you got mountain bikers, you got hikers. The weekends are, a lot of these places you just don't go in the weekends. Even Penrose, during this time of the year, you don't go in the weekends because it's a cluster. I know that's when some people, because of work, can only ride. Well, I guess if you have to, that's when you can ride, right? But if you can go out during the week, that's the best time to go. Any of these places are close to the Front Range, which is what we call basically Colorado Springs, Denver, probably Pueblo's even considered Front Range. I mean, there's always Front Range depending where you're at, right? So for us, that's kind of the 25 going from north to south. That's kind of the Front Range. We're kind of in the middle of the state. If you look at the map, there's a lot of Colorado to the east, but it becomes more rolling hills and flatter, and less big hills, and also less trees too. I'm guessing because of farms. Less trees, so it becomes farmland, growing crops, cattle, stuff like that. Although, cattle obviously can be in the mountains too. Another place we ride is Rainbow Falls. That's more of an ATV, side-by-side type place. There is no single track. Then we have Divide. That's the 717 trail system. Everything's like 717, which is a big loop. 717A, 717B, D, C, F. So a bunch of letters. Actually, all the letter ones are a lot funner than 717, which is just a big whooped out loop. But I guess a lot of people like riding it, I'm told, because you can't get lost. It's a big loop, basically, and it's pretty long. So if you're not used to trail riding and you do a big loop, yeah, that's probably going to wear most people out if they haven't done a lot of endurance riding. A lot of my riding has been endurance riding from dual sporting, meaning, I'm out 200-300 miles for the day riding dirt roads, ATV trails, some single track, and I'm just doing a huge, big loop, right? So my butt is broken into being able to handle big loops. A lot of people can't do that. Or we would do things like Breckenback or Breck Trek before I started doing it. So Breckenback, when I did it, or Breck Trek, so originally started from Monument, Colorado, where I live, Mount Herman Road, and zigzag all the way to Breckenridge, and then back on as much dirt as possible. So a lot of dirt roads, a lot of Jeep roads, ATV trails in the 717 area, and what have you. It was a good ride. So imagine doing that all day, and you start off with like 20 people from who knows what skill level. So we've had people where they would show up and they would get, maybe 20 truck lengths into the trail of an ATV trail. They're like, I can't do this, and they would turn around. So we would get various skill levels, various bikes from KLR 650s to, I was on a Honda XR 650R. Or when I got the Gas 300, I actually used that and brought fuel with me and brought oil. And yeah, that worked out really good. I went all the way to Breckenridge and all the way back on a 2-stroke. It was pretty cool. I did it just to say, hey, a bike did this. Kind of bragging rights. That was during my ADV rider days. I'm not really on that form much anymore, so it's just, it was sold off, and I'm not a fan of vertical scope who bought them, so I'm not going to really go on. No reason to. Another good trail riding area is North Rampart Range. And I say North Rampart Range because Rampart Range is a little road, it's an area, it's huge, but the actual OHV riding is in the Northern Rampart Range. There's a Rampart Range Management Committee. They do a great job of getting new single track put in. They had trails not that long ago, a big loop, 770. So you got 770 Skeleton Trail. That was one of their first ones, I believe, or early ones. It was kind of remote enough, I would just go ride that, and no one was ever on it. Then they put in 770 Turtle Mountain, which then kind of connected stuff and other connecting, and now people get through the whole loop because it's a big giant loop. So it's a lot busier. I don't go up there much anymore. It's just too busy. In my opinion, that's where everyone from Denver always goes, because it's the closest to Denver. And yeah, it's a lot of fun trails. It's great to see that there's a committee that is able to work with the Forest Service and get stuff done. So that is awesome. That's spectacular. But it's packed. You risk head-ons with ATVs if you're on the ATV trails. Yeah, I don't want to deal with that stuff. Got a lot of mixed people. That's why I like the harder trails, because the boulder fields and stuff, you're not going to have a head-on. We're all going so slow. Yeah, we're all going so slow anyways, you're not going to get a head-on. So it's great. It's a lot safer. If you're gonna have a fall, it's gonna be kind of slow. Yeah, you can place your leg down wrong and break it or hurt your ankle. That can happen no matter what. But chances are it's not gonna happen just because it's slow going. We also have down this way towards Canyon City, we have Seep Springs. It's okay. It's more ATV related. It's okay. It is remote. You don't get a lot of people there, which is good. But it's kind of far away just to drive to ride. Yeah. There's Tanner. That's an ATV trail. That's pretty steep and stuff. And then there's like East Bear Creek. A few others that all tie together. I forget their names, but they're down this way. They're pretty hard trails. Not everyone's gonna like them. And then we have tracks. I guess a lot of people go to a place called Ram. Haven't been, don't know. We have one Fountain track, or how I've always heard it called, the $10 track, but it's in Fountain. It costs $10 to go to, hence $10 track. It sucks. They don't have any enduro obstacles. It's like a hare scramble type little course on this little piece of property. And so it's just zigzags. After an hour, maybe two, you're just bored to tears. I don't know. For the track guys, they probably like it. I guess it changes directions depending on what the race is. So you go there, you have no idea. Unless they've standardized things a little bit more there. I got yelled at one year because I had been there and you went clockwise around. And the signage sucks. So it's accident waiting to happen, because how are you going to know which way to go? And so I'm back for the third time or so. I'm going around clockwise, and this guy coming the other way, of course I stop because you can see everything. I stop and he's like, "You're going the wrong way." I'm like, "Well, how would I know? This is the way the sign said last time, and the signs suck." And because there are arrows on trees that point, and they're always wrong. They move, they're twirled. And he goes, "Well, it's based on the race season." I'm like, "And how would I know that? I don't watch racing. I don't give a shit about racing. I have no idea what racing even takes place there. I have no clue." This is property owner awesome that they're allowing you to pay a fee and ride their little bit of property, but at the same time you need to take responsibility and mark things a lot better. To me that looks like a lawsuit waiting to happen. Somebody has a head on and they're like, "Well, it was this way last time. How would I know?" And saying, "Well, it's the racing," that would not negate, your being at fault for not really disclosing that, hey, we go this way now. And having it clearly marked. Anyways, I hate that place. It's worth checking out, I guess, once, but for $10, it's highway robbery for what it is. And you'll be there for an hour and it's like, yeah, this is boring. I don't know, when you're a trail rider and you're out here and you're exploring and you're riding trails that always change. Rocks move, this moves, and you can put on 20, 30 miles of trails doing various loops going one direction, the other direction, and go over here, go over there, To me, that's a lot funner than a track. So when the guys say hey, let's go to Ram, I'm just like, I'm just not interested unless there's something at Ram. I guess I should go once to bring you a video so anyone moving here would know whether this is good or not. I should probably go back to Fountain, spend the $10, and at least bring you all a video of this is what is here. And then you would have an idea, right? Oh, do I want to hit that? Do I really want to go there and waste $10? I guess if you're into the racing and your racing's one of them's gonna be there, then yeah, you might want to go ride that a bunch just so you know the track at the time. It's just through the trees, zigzagging. Anyways, it's pretty lame. I'm trying to think of other places. I guess there's like Aztec and there's a bunch of other stuff. I think that's one of them up by Denver. See, I don't know the Denver tracks or anything. What other riding? I mean, you can obviously go out to Buena Vista, check out that stuff, Carnage Canyon, that type of riding. That's extreme Jeep Trail. That's not that far away. Monarch, you can do a day trip out there, leave early, get out of Monarch. Kind of like if you're skiing, go ride Monarch Pass, Agate Creek. You can do all that stuff. Horseshoe is a good one. And Juanita, that's a good one. You can hit all that stuff over there. And that's a day ride. You can do that day. It's a long day because at the end, riding or driving back home is kind of like after skiing. You're just like, you're just like pretty tired. Obviously, there's plenty of Jeep roads around that you can go hit if you just want to go ride something different. There's a lot of fun Jeep roads. Some guys are like all into the single track, that's the only thing I'll ride it. There's a lot of Jeep roads that you'll see no one on at all if you just know where to look. So you can go do like Mosquito Pass, that tends to have people, but if you take some of the offshoot trails and dead ends, they're fun, they're steep, they're rocky, they're a hoot. Water crossings. And if you get into Leadville, go over Mosquito Pass, go into Leadville, you also have stuff. You're supposed to, on the Fairplay side, have a plate now. I don't know why Fairplay enacted that. You used to be able to unload right down there. People might still do that. But, you need a plate. Well, all my bikes tend to be plated, so I've never had the issue. So I still stop, unload, and I'm good to go, right? Just make sure I'm off the road. I know they like that there. You go Georgia Pass. That's a good one to check out, ride. There's some gnar back into there, just explore. There's a bunch of old stuff. And if you can do it during the week, there's not many people out at these places during the week. I mean, you'll be lucky to see anyone. I do highly recommend, if you're moving to Colorado, get your bike plated. So it means if you're coming from some other state that you can't plate a two-stroke, make sure you have that title and all that stuff. Or not title, it's just the MSO, and then you can go through the process to put some lights on it, do this, that, some dot tires, and have it inspected, and then be able to get an actual title for it. Because I know a lot of times, people lose the MSOs and stuff, and they have their bike, but they can't, you move, you're just going to have to ride it I don't know what you're going to do, actually. So that was This Mountain Life in his big fancy Sprinter van back there. You guys didn't see it, that's why I honked. He's probably making a phone call. He's always on the phone. So he's probably making it there before he goes off into Penrose here. So yeah. That's basically our nearby riding, and then obviously you can go further and spend the night. Moab's like 6-7 hours away, depending how long it takes you. I think I've made it in 5.5 before, but let's say 6 to 7, maybe 8 if you're a person that has to stop at every single rest stop and gas station, which is, I find, ridiculous, but knew somebody like that, so that can happen. It can take that long. New Mexico's not all that far from us. You could go down there and ride. We went up to Nemo, South Dakota. That was awesome, for the Highland Cycle stuff. Now, that was a long drive. That was like 10 or 11 hours or something. It was quite a long drive. Maybe it was like 9. I don't know. It felt like it took forever, especially you're in the middle of nowhere, right? You're up there. There's a lot of planes, and you're just like driving along. You're just like 70. You know. Of course, you speed up, but then you're like, oh my God, there could be a cop out here because there's like nothing. You could go up to Idaho. Idaho is a long drive, but it's doable. Silverton, Colorado is epic. You know, you can get there, ride, or Montrose. A lot of riding there. You can check out Highland Cycles videos. You know, you got Peach Valley, and you got Dry Creek, is it called? I think Dry Creek area. You got all that stuff. It's epic. Highly recommend. There's a lot of good riding in Colorado. St. George, Utah is a far drive, but there's epic riding there, and you know, it tends to be nicer. Although they can get cold at night, so you might have late starts in the morning because it'd be like, you know, 30 degrees in the morning. But yeah, it's going to warm up to in the 60s to 70, right? But you might not start riding until 11 or noon, until, you know, that desert warms up. So yeah, I would say Colorado's a good central place for a bunch of different riding. More stuff to explore than you'll ever do in your lifetime. And the great part is, you know, there's hiking, you can do other stuff, you know, river rafting, a bunch of tourist stuff to do. You know, you got the 14ers. So if you're moving, Colorado is a good place. I know a lot of people are going to be like, no, send them to Kansas. I don't know, when I get older, like I've said in a different video at one point, you know, Kansas might be a good place to retire because there's a lot of cheap living still. Especially if I just want a place to call base camp and have like a Sprinter van or something, and then just, you know, be in a safe little small blink your eye farm town and have a place to come back to. But I can be in the van and I can load up and I can just go see the country. Yeah. That might be a possibility, you know, if houses elsewhere, like my place now, stuff's in the 600s, 700, for what used to be 300. I'm sure there's some of the bigger ones are probably even like 900. Yeah, you know, if I can go buy a place, say, in the future, Kansas is like 300, but I can sell my place for like 8 or something. Heck yeah. You know, just be base camp. Anyways, I'm at Penrose. It's going to be rocky, so the camera's going to be a little vibrating. I'm going to call that good. You all take care. Stay well. Hopefully I told you about some places around us where we ride, and you can look those up. I'll try to provide some links in this video in the description for y'all. Y'all take care. Stay well. Stay safe, my friends. You can get out there and ride if you have those 2 wheels. It's a lot of fun. Have a good one. Bye.